Dana White. Mike, you know how much Michael Spinks made for your fight?
I don't know, 14 million, 20 million, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 13 million in what that one was, what, 88?
Yes.
13 million in 88. Is Spinks, is he still good?
I don't know.
I heard Spinks doesn't spend any money. Spinks is pretty good with his money. That's what I hear.
Because if you're good with it, the 13 from that night alone, even after tax, is pretty good money.
He did a good job that night. Yeah, he came off pretty well.
I mean, relatively. His approach when
financially, that is.
Not physically.
Yeah, financially, he came out all right. He has seizures every now and then, but financially, he's doing really well.
He still has nightmares of that body shot that took him. He'd start losing his breath in the middle of the night. But Dana, which Mike fights did you go to?
I was broke, man. I had to buy them all on pay-per-view.
So you didn't get to see one in person, huh?
Let me tell you, I was the biggest Mike Tyson fan ever, man. I'm still the biggest Mike Tyson fan ever. But when I was a kid, Tyson was it, man. That was it. It was one of the greatest eras of my life, the Tyson era. It was so fun, man. I think the first Mike Tyson fight I went to was when he fought Botha.
We talked about that on another episode. That was one of the best Tyson knockouts ever.
Awesome. He walked out. Isn't that the one you walked out to DMX?
Yeah.
DMX had just come out. He walked out to DMX. That song was that's all we listened to for like a month after the fight, and totally got into DMX because of Mike. And it was me and Lorenzo Fertitta. Lorenzo Fertitta and I went to that fight, and I'm pretty sure that was my first. Tyson Holyfield. I went to Tyson Holyfield 2.
How do you forget that one? The bite fight.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a scary night. That one was scary.
Where were you sitting?
We were sitting in the upper deck, but when we started to leave, there was just craziness going on in the casino, man. People were grabbing the programs and throwing them all over the place. People were jumping on top of blackjack tables and
that crazy.
Throwing chips. It was crazy. Yeah, it was really crazy in there that night.
Oh, damn. So from the second the fight ended, when you went to walk out, it was bedlam.
Instantly. Because when Mike left, when they walked Mike out, people were throwing stuff at him, like their drinks and stuff like that. And then he started getting crazy. He was getting pissed off and going crazy. And then the police got involved, like pushing people down and going into the stands. And then it was just like a wave of just bad cruising through the place. Went all the way through the arena into the casino. And I felt like I was with my wife. I felt like we got out of there just in time.
Damn. Mike, do you remember people throwing shit at you on the way out?
Yeah, I remember. I tried to run up the stairs and fight them.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was trying to fight them.
Exactly. So then the police were getting involved because they were throwing shit at Tyson, and they were like beating on people that were in the stands. It was crazy. It was crazy.
It's funny too. For as feared as you were, and at times when you sort of, from a character standpoint, Mike, you sort of played the heel at different times. But that had to be the only time that anyone like booed you on your way out of an arena, right?
Well, I was pretty angry too, so I didn't really care. So I was pretty angry too. I wanted to get a hold of those guys anyway.
Dude, what a night! So, all right, so you went to Holyfield 2. You went to Botha. Did you go to Lewis?
No, I didn't go to Lewis. I didn't go to the Lewis fight. I literally at that time I lived in South Boston. When Mike got out of jail, I literally had a Mike Tyson release party at my house. We had a party and stayed up all night waiting for him to get out of jail to see him on TV. And literally he walked out of jail, jumped right in the limo and took off. He didn't speak or anything like that, but that's how big of a Tyson fan.
Well, and it's funny, there is like a minute connection to me between Tyson out of jail and the UFC, and that is Tyson had those early, after he got out, Mike, you had those early fights that were on free Fox TV.
Yes.
And Dana, that's sort of what it reminds me of, with the free fights you guys are putting on TV. Would you ever, what's the highest level you think you go to with that? Would you ever try what they were doing with Tyson, where you have basically like the biggest level pay-per-view on free TV?
Yeah, again, like anything's possible. It would depend on why and how it all lined up. But yeah, I was a big believer in that. That's why we did it. we wanted to put big free fights on television again. I became a huge fight fan because of, USA's Tuesday night fights, the ESPN fights that were on, and ABC's Wide World of Sports when they did big fights. That's how you become a fan.
Yeah, every Saturday they had fights.
Exactly. And that's how you become a fan, and that's how you start following certain fighters. And
Mike, how are you, man? Hey, get the fight.